Today I'm going to show you how to make a Kahoot, which is a web-based application. I use it as a reward, but it's actually a really great tool for assessment or review. I use it in my intermediate French class. We've used it probably 4 or 5 times already this year. After the first time we did it, the students were consistently asking for it, so I always think that that's a great thing. This quiz is just going to show you how to make a quiz Kahoot. I have another video that tells you about the benefits of using Kahoot, so if you're more interested in that side, I urge you to go and listen to that video. But first, let's get started. It's very easy to create a Kahoot. If you were to type Kahoot, Kahott, into Google to search for it, what it will do, it will take you to the createkahoot.it page. This is the page that you need to be at in order to create a quiz. You'll need to make an account. It's free, and it's a very quick process. It just asks you for an email address and a username, really. And so once you have that finished, you'll be brought to your home screen. In order to create a Kahoot, you have 3 different types to choose from. You have a quiz, a discussion, which is for a discussion-based class, or a survey, which is formatted like the quiz, only without points. The quiz is more competitive. If you get the question right and if you solve it quickly, you get more points, or Kahoots. And there's a leaderboard that is projected onto the screen with the game. So my students enjoy the quiz the most. So we're going to create that today. So in order to create a Kahoot, you just click on quiz and you give it a name. I'm going to call mine sample. And we're going to go. This is what an edit question page looks like. It's very simple. You type your question into the top, and this will be the header of the screen. So my question, I teach French, so let's do an easy French one. Combien de squelettes? It is Halloween today. So easy. So I have the question in here. I spelled squelette wrong. So we have the question in the top bar. It only allows 95 characters, so keep it fairly simple and direct. It allows you to bold and italicize important words. So I'm going to bold and italicize the question word. And then you're allowed to create or put in insert images or video in order to support students' understanding of your question. Now, because my question doesn't make any sense without the image, I'm going to add the image. So a good tip is to go and download all the pictures that you want to use in your Kahoot beforehand. That way you don't have to be searching for your images. So I'm going to choose the 3 skeletons picture, and it will just insert a covered version there. Now we move down the page and we have the answers. So you can put your answers in the box. I'm going to put trois, I'm going to put un, I'm going to put dix, and I don't know, cinq. And in order to move on, I have to choose a correct response. So I'm going to choose the correct response, un, deux, trois, and press correct. If I'm happy with the question, then I can move on to the next question. And it will automatically save the question that you've created at the bottom, but it will not let you move unless you have filled in the question. So all my questions are at the bottom here. I do not want to create a second question, so I will just delete it. After I have finished typing in all my questions, I will save, and I will get to the information page. Filling this in is great because one of the awesome things about Kahoot is that you can share the quizzes that you make with other educators or other people that are interested in that. You just have to make sure that your setting is public. If your Kahoot is about rules or something that involves pictures from your school and you don't want to share it, you can make it private, and then the only people that would have access to your Kahoot are the people in your account. And the primary audience is good. It's great for if you're searching, so I always add that. And the same with the difficulty level. A description is always nice. I'm not going to add one because I'm going to delete this. To tell people what they're downloading, and tags are great to help people search for something that'll work with what they need. And after you've filled all this in, you can save and continue, and you come to your cover editing page. What is great about this is that you can embed a YouTube video that has to do with your quiz. So I would put in, I don't know, Matt Maxwell's Say Halloween or something to play in the background of the lobby screen while students are trying to log in. I am actually just going to put in a haunted house picture. And while I'm waiting for students to come into my Kahoot, I will have a haunted house picture. So now that I'm finished, I'm going to click done. And that's it. Your Kahoot is created. So I'll show you what this looks like. To play this, you need to have a handheld device. So if you were to play now, it wouldn't work unless people have logged in on some sort of handheld device. But to preview, I can show you what it would look like. So if you just bear with me for a second. So when you go to preview, it will pull up this is the Kahoot that would be on the screen that you're using, and this is a sample of the handheld device that a student would use. I teach intermediate, so many of my students have iPhones. So this is pretty much how we would use it. And you have some options here. I like to display the game pin throughout. It's a number that you need to access the game. And if students get knocked out because their Wi-Fi cuts out or something, it's really great to have it across the top so that they can come back in instead of having to wait for the game to end. So I always turn that on. I do not show lobby instructions. Most of my students know the instructions. For the first couple times, that might be a great idea. I also do not randomize the order of the answers, but if I was going to use the same Kahoot again, I might want to do that to ensure that I'm getting a good result in my assessment. I don't usually have the lobby music on because my students have a lot of fun and conversation trying to think of their display names. So I will turn that off for now. And the advanced options, there's an option, you can't see because I can't extend my screen, but there's an option to display how students can connect to the Wi-Fi. So if you had a password protected Wi-Fi, it's great because you could put what Wi-Fi they should choose and what the password is, and that way students don't ask you. So once you have the Kahoot ready, this would be on the screen. Students would not have this on their handheld. And what the students would do is they would take their device and they would go on to an internet browser, because you don't need to download any apps for this. And in the internet browser, they would log on to kahoot.it, nothing else. That's all they put in the address bar. And they will come to this screen, and what they'll get is a screen that says game pin. This is it. They can't do anything until they put in the game pin, and they won't get the game pin until you launch the game. So here we go. Students will have to get out their device. Like I said, it could be any device that has access to the internet, and Kahoot will generate a game pin for you. The game pin changes every time you open the game, so it's not something that you can save. Students put into the address bar kahoot.it, that's it. You can see that I have my Wi-Fi network here, and there's no password. And on their device, students will put in the pin. So it's 5808180, and that's all they have to do, and they'll enter. It will say connect to play now, and the students have to create a nickname. I let the students be creative with their nicknames, but if you were using it for assessment purposes, you could just put your name. I like to put Bassmaster because my last name is Bass. And so you'll join. Once the students have joined, then their name will pop up on the screen. A good thing is if you're letting students create their own name and they say something inappropriate, you can kick them out by just clicking on their name, and it will kick them out of the game. Once all the people have plugged in, and you'll see by the number of players this will change, you can start the game. And when you start it, here's our cover page that we did with the haunted house. This is what the students will see, but what you'll see. And then what will happen is they will show you the results. Now, when you create your Kahoot, this is because I'm using a screencast application, and so what it is in order to show you, it has created some code. This will not be here. But that's it, and that's how you create a Kahoot. So it's very easy. I hope you try it.